Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Art of Game over here at Cabot Crossing. And this is a show where we talk about tabletop role playing games. We three game masters with different experiences, different games, and we cover different topics, share tips, tricks, and debate a bit sometimes. And today we're going to do a little bit of follow up to the video we did about Bob the World Builder's poll about top RPGs. We're taking a look at a reaction video by Dungeons and Dyslexia, right? I forgot to put it.
He had a very creative spelling for that word, so it might mean something totally different to him.
And he was talking about the top 50 games at Start Playing. If you're not familiar with Start Playing, is a website where you can pay, and there's free games too, but you can play online for usually pay, and you play various games. They got lots of GMs up there, pro GMs and stuff. I even hear that there's at least one of us, perhaps down there, that might be on there.
That is possible. It's interesting. My game is filling up. We've got. I think I can say one of my players is coming back. We're doing I'm trying to the guy had left because of some stuff, and then I'm getting him to come back for the big ending to our campaign. So we got this big mic drop to surprise the other players. So and then he's talking about actually sticking around, which is awesome. So
good.
Yeah.
He talked about the top 50 games on Start Playing this year. He also talks a little bit about how it changed from previous year. Mm-hmm. I also looked at numbers from the GAMA convention, from retail numbers and stuff. Thought it'd be interesting to just kind of take a look at that with Bob's poll and a statistic from Bend, Oregon also, and find out what the most popular games are, or our thoughts on it.
Well, everybody I've talked to from Bend, Oregon plays Vampire the Masquerade heavily.
Well, so. I mean, luckily, this is more aligned with what you're saying. So,
yeah.
Let's just get this out of the way real quick. The top 10.
10.
Yeah. Is Dungeons and Dragons.
So Mark, when you're counting, you don't have to count all your digits.
These are the top 10. These are retail sales, just to keep in mind. These are ones you're going to see in stores more often, especially Walmarts and stuff. And I thought that was interesting to see some of these. Look at this one right here, Vampire the Masquerade, number 7.
I would be very surprised to see Alien RPG in Walmart or Crooked Moon.
Yeah, I mean, it's retail. So, it's in gaming stores too. But I know Dungeons Dragons, Pathfinder you can find in Walmart, Barnes & Noble. You might find Cosmere and a few of those places too, and some of these other books.
I thought it was interesting that both versions of Pathfinder still ranked it in that guy's top 10, for Start Playing. That Pathfinder first edition is still being played heavily.
Oh yeah. It used to be always number 2. Let's go back. Let's go down there. So this is these numbers. Let's just look at the top ones, top 10 here. Yeah. So we have Pathfinder 2nd edition and 1st edition in the top 10. So I thought that was interesting. He separated those, or I should say, Start Playing separate those. They didn't separate out the D&D.
Well, they dominate the top 2 slots. So might as well.
But I think it's really interesting.
It does actually. So it said 5th/2024.
Yeah.
Does that mean it doesn't include 2014?
No, I think
yes, it does.
I think it is. It has to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it says 5th edition, and he calls it 5th edition.
Oh,
we'll say 5 and 5.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I noticed here Daggerheart has surged up quite a bit in the top 10.
Yeah, number 2. I knew it was popular because I run into a lot of people at shows who are playing Daggerheart, but not that many compared to other. It's like about as many as you would find playing Savage Worlds, right? But or at least people are willing to admit it. But it's a solid number 2, which probably I would imagine there's a huge jump. If you look at your chart below, it shows you what the jump is, but if you were divided between, if the statistics from Bob's graph hold, I would suspect it's doing just as well as 5th edition or 2024 based upon what we see here.
Yeah, and this chart is from Bob's poll.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah. Oh, it is?
I just grabbed that real quick.
Okay, well, fair enough then. But
that explains it. Yeah.
Yeah,
but it's probably comparable. I mean, like 2024 is not universally as popular as people would like, you know, or as Wizards wanted it to be. Like I just watched a video that it was D&D Shorts finally came back with a new video, so he must have got caught up on his workload, and he was talking about what he doesn't like about 2024, and I can't remember off the top of my head what he said, but the points were damning. Like the things he was saying. Some of the things he was saying about him, like those things would have turned me off for sure.
You thought it would be like an obscure thing, and he's like, I don't like that they roll dice.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not going to go read through the book in minutia to find everything I don't like, because that's not a reason to read a book. But
no, I'm talking about him, D&D Shorts guy. But yeah,
no, he was making some good points, so he does seem to like it. He says he likes it overall, but yet the entire video had a laundry list of complaints. So
yeah.
I think oh, sorry, go ahead, Greg.
I was gonna say, I'm not a big fan of the art, but I think it probably does balance the game overall better. But there's no way in heck I'm gonna buy all those books again.
No.
I've heard a lot of people say the monsters manual is better. The monsters have a little more punch and a little more interesting. But yeah, I'm not in a rush to buy all the books again. So I just did it with Tales of the Valiant, and then I don't want to do it again.
Hey, the only reason I even have the Player's Handbook at all is because my wife runs a bookstore, and she got it for half off. So, and she brought it to me. So here we go.
You brought it to you, like, no, why did you bring this to me? Oh, well.
Sometimes she comes home with a book. It's like, can we run this? Okay, no.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's just too many alternatives to come out with a 0.5 at this point. It's probably just a mistake on their part, but whatever.
Yeah.
I actually am surprised by Daggerheart. Maybe we should give that another shot, because I found it more cumbersome than I would have liked in some ways. But look at that. That's right. Maybe they've streamlined it.
It'll probably have a second edition before long, but they made it to be flexible.
A few more years,
but trying to dress it up so you could do all kinds of different campaign settings. But it's interesting. I was watching the RPG channel for Viva La Dirt League, and so they're running a Daggerheart campaign, and they decided to pick the one that was based on the Dungeons and Delicious. So they're running around making meals for people, for bad guys and stuff. And I don't understand that at all. I don't know why that's fun.
It was an anime that started a whole trend of that. But yeah.
I don't know why.
But
why
that's
those
just
guys
one.
are doing.
That's one campaign frame. So
yeah.
You're talking about the Daggerheart campaign frame that does that? Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the one that Viva La Dirt League is doing. And I'm like, are you guys kidding me?
There's a lot of comedy to bring into that.
I suppose.
Yeah.
They are funny. But I will say they have some very good campaign building materials in that book.
It's very
surprisingly good.
I'm very impressed by the tools for onboarding players. Right, they have that sheet where you can take your you can print it off, and you take your character sheet and you like slide it over to one side, and it's got arrows saying like what everything is, and you slide over the other side and it shows that. I think that's a really clever way to help train people.
I think my least favorite thing about it is duality dice and having to deal with those every time. I'd probably just turn them into points. And also the I'm not a fan of the cards. I think the cards are annoying personally.
Well, I was just about to say that I actually kind of like the 2d12 idea, because there's so much you can do with it in terms of like adding in new game mechanics that don't slow the game down, but at the same time you have to give up your traditions. And like I really like these things. The D20, it's I'm sorry, but I just
I don't mind the D12. I don't mind 2D12, by the way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't like the idea of having to justify hope or fear every roll. That's what I said. I'd probably just turn them into points.
That feels clumsy to me as well, but I also haven't played it, and I haven't really looked into it too closely. So, but the idea that it has a built-in mechanic where your character is forced to retire, that actually turns me off a lot.
Really?
well, it does. Well, like if you're rocking with this cool character and you've had a bad run of luck on the dice, and it's not a matter of like, okay, my character died heroically or something, or he fell fighting this monster, but it's like, no, I've got too much fear and I have to retire this character. It's like, I don't know. I think I like that idea.
I think
they may have changed it. I don't know if that's the way it works anymore. I believe the way it works now is if you go unconscious, effectively go to 0 hit points, and you survive that, you get scarred, which means you lose one of your hope permanently. And when you lose all your hope, then you have to retire.
I think that's what I was referring to.
You can also choose. You can also choose to just go out in a blaze of glory, where you just die, but you get to get an automatic crit on something. So I'd probably choose that anyway.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
And that seems to be a trend. A lot of Daggerheart is trying to create that blend of like traditional role playing with the narrative type stuff, like PBTA is trying to be some middle ground there, and it has mixed results.
Yeah,
I mean, some people say it's too much of a jack of all trades, but then you can kind of say that's what D&D is, and that's kind of why it has mass appeal, is because it is a jack of all trades. So you can tweak it, right? I don't know.
Well, I think that we're seeing like Pathfinder 2nd Edition doing really well. No surprise, because Pathfinder is the primary competition to D&D, and for a while had claimed the top spot, and then here we have Daggerheart, suddenly taking number 2. If it's writing, I think it's writing on the celebrity of the people behind it, but whether or not it's a good and enduring game, who's to say, right? Like it's still very brand new. Because like we're looking at, what is it, like it's more than a decade since Pathfinder came out. I'm not sure how many years it's been, but that game clearly has stood the test of time. Will Daggerheart still be there in 10 years? I don't know. I mean,
I bet it'd be very interesting to put next to this is the median age of each of these games of people who play it, because I bet you'd find that the Daggerheart median age is way lower than the rest of them. And I don't mean that as a diss. I just mean that as people get into Daggerheart are the ones who got into it because of Critical Role.
Yes.
And people who got into Critical Role got into it because of the voice acting, because of the theater part of it. This is like everyone's attempt to say, I wish I became a theater kid, but instead I work at software engineering. So I'm going to go be a theater kid and play Daggerheart, right? Like, that sounds really insulting when I think about it.
Well,
but I didn't mean it.
It's make a great clip. Everyone will hate it.
well, according to this, Pathfinder came out in August of 2009. So, and it's July now, right? So it's like almost I don't do math in my head.
09?
Yeah.
So it's like 17 years?
Something like that. Let me do the calculator.
It's 7 or 18. It's fine.
Minus 2009. 17. Nice one, Greg. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that is a success. Like, that is a game that's not going anywhere for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, Draw Steel
Cthulhu. Oh, go ahead.
I feel like Draw Steel is probably going to pull some people from Pathfinder. Like, I don't think anybody's going to leave Pathfinder for Daggerheart.
That's actually a good point. I do think Draw Steel's direct competition is probably Pathfinder more than 5e. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it is.
There's a thing in marketing where you have if you attempt to position your product as the number one product and say, hey, I'm the best, people will tend to unconsciously associate you with the thing that actually is the number one product, right? So it's like if you're Pepsi, you want to say, hey, we are the number one thing, people are going to immediately think of Coca-Cola, and so you're indirectly actually advertising for your competition. Right.
That's funny.
So the smartest move is actually try to jockey for number 2, or number 3, depending upon the industry, right? And
right.
Pepsi
has when there's a clear one, and
Pepsi overall, I think, has been very successful in that they understand they're number 2, and they, I mean, they'll play the game, but they ultimately accept their number 2 position, and they're solid, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's like, Pathfinder, I think, will keep the number 2 position because it has had it since it came. It's like it's been that way forever. And I think Daggerheart,
if you combine them, for sure.
Exactly, undeniably. And so I think that Daggerheart is the new hotness, but is it going to stay in number 2?
Yeah, we'll see. Call of Cthulhu. If you want to talk about a game that's stood this test of time, without even changing very much.
Because
well,
it has 1980, I think, when it first came out, somewhere around there.
I mean, they've had multiple editions of it, haven't they?
Yeah, 7th edition right now.
it's kind of, as far as I know, it's kind of stayed similar to its form throughout.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's very popular in Europe, way more than here, as far as I know.
And in
But
Japan, too.
Shadowdark is the one that part of me is surprised it's not higher, because I hear so much hype around it.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I've never understood why it would be higher, because it is such a limited game, at least until the next one comes out.
I'm actually surprised Cyberpunk Red is even in the top 10 at all, to be honest.
I hear it talked
Yeah,
about
that's
a lot.
strange.
It's got hype, but the thing is when you're actually talking to people, you know, because I'm pushing a Cyberpunk game, right? So I end up meeting a lot of people that are like, "Oh, Cyberpunk, really?" But it's like, you know, they go, "But the rules." Right, so it's like there's hype about playing Cyberpunk Red because the video game was cool. There's hype about playing Shadowrun, of course, because it's the OG, right? But like the thing about it is, on both of those is then people go, oh, but the rules, right? Because like with Shadowrun, you need what, like 16d6 just to guarantee you're going to succeed. Like that's obscene.
Yeah, I hear a lot of complaints about Shadowrun's rules. Actually,
Yeah.
Shadowrun's not in this top 50.
Yeah, Shadowrun's definitely not in the top. Hey, where was Shadowrun again?
It's not in there. Shadowrun was in there last year, but not this year in top 50.
Yeah, see, and Shadowrun is a great granddad game. It should be bigger, like, but it's kind of slipped in its popularity apparently. But
Shadowrun has top-notch lore, but in terms of gameplay, I could not stand it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like part of why my product has been successful, and this of course is a complete accident. I never set out to do it this way, but it's like I can deliver the same kind of experience as Cyberpunk Red or Shadowrun, but with rules that people actually can get into, and often they already know how to play. So it's like, you know, and that alone has sold me probably over 100 books. And so it's like, it really surprises me that Cyberpunk Red is even on the list, because I've only, like I can count the number of people I've talked to in the last 3 years on one hand who actually play the game.
Yeah, I mean, their books are up on top of Drive-Thru RPG a lot, so they sell well there at least. And I keep seeing them mentioned, but I never actually have played it or talked to anyone who's played it.
And
not Cyberpunk Red. I'm back in the day, Cyberpunk 2099 or whatever it was. I forgot what some previous versions were, but not newer Cyberpunk.
What is Cyberpunk Red? What type of system? I've never even looked into it.
I think it's a proprietary system, isn't it? Like I haven't played it, but
yeah, it's that publisher. Gosh, it's been so long since I played it, and I don't know what the Red version's like. But
and full disclosure, I've never played it, but I'm confident in bad mouthing it when I'm making a sale, because people are constantly telling me how hard it is.
What if it's the greatest rule system ever, Woody?
Yeah, well, it may be, but like every time I talk to people, they're always like, "Oh, but I couldn't figure out how to play it." So like I'm just riffing off of what people have told me, so that's a pretty safe bet. But
I don't remember when I played it, but it was fine, but it didn't blow me away.
So it's D10 plus your stat plus your skill bonus, and it has stats compared. So it's the same as D20, but with a D10 from the sound of it.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling.
That's my 2 seconds of looking. Yeah.
It probably doesn't have classes, at least not traditional classes, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, and that I think is probably one of the liabilities of a game like Shadowrun, and I don't know if Cyberpunk Red's the same way, but like having a character class system in the game as opposed to a build system tends to make it easier to just sit down and play. And Shadowrun at least had, you know, like sample characters in the book that the GMs could dip into, but it's like, but it's like they have archetypes, they don't have character classes, and it is harder for a game master to sit down and run a game because it puts more work on the back end to get going.
But and maybe Cyberpunk does. I just don't remember it being part of it.
Yeah. I've only played 4th edition. Yeah, I've only played 4th edition of Cyberpunk, but I hated making a character. It was the most. You had to use like an app for it. At least our guy had us use an app, and really it was so confusing. All of us made our character poorly, and then when we played the game, we realized we made our character horribly. And when we asked to like change the character, he's like, "No, it's what you did." I'm like, "Oh fuck." And so it's just, I ended up. Maybe I just had a bad experience.
You may have had a bad experience. Well, see, the thing is the GM should be you need to have somebody there who's read the book and has digested it, and is there to guide you through the process and like make suggestions and help you, you know, get what you're trying to build. You know, so like that's really part of the game master's job is to make sure that the players are happy with their characters.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm super excited Monster of the Week is in the top 10. That's nice.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's crazy. I didn't even hear about that game until
it doesn't surprise me though, because I have run into a lot of Monster of the Week players over the years. I mean, it's interesting because, like, I think the demographics of this are different on the West Coast than on the East Coast, and it may be population, or like, I mean, a lot more of these games are also made over there, and that may be a population thing because there's more people. But it's like, we have a few local things made out here, but like D&D, for example. But I think the West Coast, there's D&D is way more dominant than it is over on the other side of the country.
I do think there's like a stark difference between Monster of the Week, Vampire, and Call of Cthulhu and Daggerheart, and then the other ones. Like, I don't even know how to. It's not rules light versus rules heavy or anything like that. But there's a difference between those games and the other games that I have trouble putting my finger on. But
well, I like that we're looking at everything on this top 10 as a different rule set. Like. Yeah. That's really awesome. Yeah, that is really
Pathfinder
cool.
and D&D are cousins.
they are for sure, but like,
second edition's veered off a bit. I would say
a lot, actually. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
but
it's a lot more diverse than Bob's poll, for example.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was very, like, Nimble's not on here at all, and I'm kind of surprised at it. Well, I am kind of surprised, not surprised. Obviously, no DC-20, because not that many people are playing DC-20 yet. It's even out.
Yeah, because Bob's poll, if you think about it, is not really what are people playing the most. It's what do people want people to play the most. Like, if I could pick what I want to be the most popular, I'm going to select that, right? That's what that poll is. Whereas this one is, what are they actually doing most?
I don't think it's a huge surprise, right? That his poll is going to bias in favor of his audience. And that's not a criticism, that's not a negative. It's just like the majority of the people paying attention to that poll are going to be his audience. His audience are interested in, what he talks about, because otherwise he wouldn't be making videos about it, right? But here we have a more diverse ranking of people that aren't so focused, like within a funnel, right? And this is there's a lot here in this top 50, like
here, Brindlewood Bay and Monster Hearts 2, those are PBTA games. That's cool. And then
Starfinder's on here. Is Starfinder second edition?
First edition.
First and second are on here.
I don't even know Pokemon.
Yeah.
This is also a PBTA game, and
Alien is here. There's a couple superhero games, Blades in the Dark,
Pirate Board. All the board games, I mean, they're their own kind of thing, but they're also OSR.
Oh, look, Star Wars 5e is still high up on there.
I was about to say, I like that Star Wars 5e is on there.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, well, we all had a good time playing that.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah. You got good system. It really is. Dark.
So what I find interesting about Savage Worlds is it's not clarifying which Savage Worlds games are being played. Because like, not to be he talks about Rifts in every episode, but like the Savage Rifts RPG is right now, I think, bigger than the classic Rifts RPG. And does this mean that people are playing that? And number 16 is that include Savage Rifts campaigns? Does it include any of the other games they have? Right? It doesn't really say. And that's interesting that we don't know how that one divides up. Yeah. They're lumping every Savage Worlds game into one category.
Yeah, I would say it's probably all of them, but I don't know.
So Savage Rifts probably is on here.
And I would say Savage Rifts is probably, I feel like I'm not saying anything too controversial. I say it's like one of the top settings of Savage Worlds right now.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, it also has a lot behind it, so it is easy for people to get into it because there's a million books, right? So you can easily pick up all kinds of support content for it.
Yeah, they got a number of books.
And they're also advancing the timeline in that setting beyond where the book series is normally. So it's like you actually kind of have to get those books if you want to, keep going. Cool. It would not surprise me if the RPG line ultimately just transitions to Savage Worlds permanently. It
might, yeah. I don't know.
So
I just wish the art was as good as the original.
Yeah.
Not that's bad or anything, but it doesn't have quite the same level, the same set style that
Yeah,
that drew
well,
me to it.
like riffs. All the Plenty books have always had like a comic book style, and they've had some. They've often taken risks on artists who became really successful people later.
Mhm.
So it's.
I got some
Anyways,
amazing
go ahead,
covers.
Greg.
I was just curious if there's like a takeaway from this. Like my takeaway from this would probably be, hey, give Daggerheart another chance because it's been a long time. I've only played it in beta. I didn't play the release game.
I think that this is potentially proving the point that I was trying to make, that I think that after because like I know that before the OGL scandal, if you want to start playing, because I think I started my campaign before that had hit, and when I was looking on it, it was basically like 5e, 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 and then a few other things, right? And it was hard to get. It was a little difficult to get another game going that wasn't D&D. And now we're seeing all this other stuff that's actively being played, and it would be interesting to go on there and you're only going to see the ones that are looking for players. They're not going to advertise a game that isn't full. But like I think that no, sorry, they're not advertising one that is full. But anyways, I think the fact that this is what's actually happening on there kind of like is awesome, because it shows that D&D is losing its dominance a little bit, because like I it seems to me that the OGL controversy is going to break confidence, and they're continuing to make decisions that are breaking confidence with the fans, and all that's going to do is push people out into other areas, and to be more like it was in the 80s.
Yeah, I think to me it's I think you're seeing it fragmented out. I think narrative games are more mainstream than they've ever been before with PBTA and other games, which I think is awesome because I like narrative games a lot. And then I also like OSR too, and OSR is no longer a niche. I think Shadowdark helped really make it popular. It's a great gateway drug, I think. Not to take away from Dungeon Crawl Classic, which is also really good, but I think Shadowdark's an easier thing to transition to as a start. Or has done a great job doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else except
I'd be interested to see. I don't know if these numbers even exist, but it's like you can clearly show the dominance of D&D. Like I know that the stats coming out of Wizards of the Coast are obviously inflated and like they're not accurate. They're trying to make themselves look good. But like if we were to go back in time to 1985, like D&D was the top game, but I don't know that it was so dominant as it is now. I think it had more competition, and it'd be interesting to see if there are like statistics of what people were actually playing back then. Granted, there were fewer players, but it would be interesting to see, because
during the 3rd edition time period, everybody like D20 dominated everything. Far worse than I think 5e ever did.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there used to be. I kind of worry a little bit about like some traditional games like GURPS and Hero System and stuff like that. I don't know where they at. Palladium and stuff.
Well, GURPS is number 38.
GURPS is on there. Okay, good.
Yeah. Well, the Palladium is making a resurgence. It's there is an effort to do that, but I think that when they had that embezzlement thing, kind of similar to what's happening to Paizo right now. Like Paizo could have the same thing happen that Palladium did, where without the financial resources, because when Palladium had that money stolen from the company, they lost their ability to maintain their momentum. They couldn't pay for the advertising. They couldn't get some books out, and they had to lay off people, and it almost killed them. And I could see Paizo having a similar problem, where a company that was so dominant slides. But like the people that were fans of Palladium are still rabidly dedicated, and and they're successfully transitioning into Savage Worlds, and that's creating a whole new fan base for them. So I think that they're not going anywhere.
I hope not, because that's a great game company.
Yeah,
I think GURPS needs to do like and I guess they kind of have a basic version. I don't know. They need to do something that's a little easier for new players. I'm not sure what exactly, but they need to do something like that.
So, anywho,
but cool.
Almost 30 minutes.
And I think Daggerheart. Hey, Greg, I got this. I got the PDF.
That just means you have to run it.
Well, I can run it if you want me to, but I'm happy to have you run it if you want. if you want to play
All
it,
right.
you
If
never
you
give you
get
my
to play
address.
it.
if you guys ever want to try out a Platinum game, I'm happy to come on and run something for you guys as well.
Yeah,
Hilarity.
we could do that too. Like a Rifts. Rifts is my favorite.
I really like Heroes Unlimited. Like, you know, if I mean, I've looked at other superhero games, but you know, there's things about Heroes Unlimited that I just absolutely adore, and it's you know, like the I like having a game system where you can get in there and you can like really like dish out big quantities of damage, and you know, you're not just not giving an insta kill, and you can get some really visceral fights, so you almost feel it sometimes. We were actually wrapping up a Ninja Turtles campaign a couple nights ago, and you know, they were fighting a greater demon as their final fight, but it was it was brutal. You know, they were yeah.
Well, it was neat. I played one time. I remember playing Rifts, and I think I played a superhero from that book in the Rifts world. And it was pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what my powers were or anything, but
well, I can say about the one I was just running, like, it was a good thing they had a caster in the party, because that fight would have been, without having a spellcaster, there would have been some casualties.
All right. Well, I think we have some thought. Oh, also, I wanted to mention, I put it in the chat. One cool thing about Daggerheart 2 is there's an actual website called Heart of Daggers, and it's like a marketplace for gamers making like third party Daggerheart
they do have that, don't they?
Yeah, and that's a really unique thing that not a lot of people have. That plus you have the SRD that's free online with Daggerheart. So there's a lot of buzz of hope and fear, and you know, I'm curious to see where Daggerheart lands, where it's at in a couple years from now. That's
probably a lot of what made it jump up, you know, in the rankings, because they made it accessible, right? And like it's, you know, it could be your Daggerheart, right? But I mean, the question I would have at is, because like D&D, if you publish to them, they kind of own your stuff, right? And so you can't take it anywhere else. So can you know, like, how does Daggerheart work with that? And that
they don't own your stuff, but I think they could use some of the rule mechanics from your stuff. I think.
Yeah. Because wasn't that the thing on the marketplace? They can take whatever you have, and like, you know,
D&D. I guess.
I remember the compensation for it not being good. Like you technically own it, but you don't, though.
Well, I mean, it depends, because if you're talking about, you know, OGL, it's a different rule than like, or now Creative Commons, versus when you do it in their marketplace and you're using their IP, you know, they're gonna.
Because I remember somebody suggesting that I should publish Cyber Symbiosis in there to get in front of more people, and I read up on it. I'm like, oh, I'm just signing away all my rights. Well, screw that. You know, no.
Well, that marketplace is best, I think, for like, if you're someone made and I bought like a Curse of Strahd companion book.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, you can't make a Curse of Strahd companion book and you're like, oh, how dare you steal any of my ideas from it? So, well, you're using our IP to make this book.
Yep.
So there's a difference between IP and rule mechanics, right? A little bit.
I know the Dungeon Dudes converted their Drakenheim campaign to Daggerheart.
Yeah. And we're seeing that, like, there's some books coming out for 2014 D&D with settings, and then you got books coming out for Daggerheart now, and you have Deathbringer coming out for Shadowdark. So, you see some people picking systems.
So the one that's really interesting for me, though, was there's an open gaming license for the for the work that Matt Vancel has done with the gamers, where he put out this. So he put out his guidebook to his campaign world, right? Which is the setting world for all of the gamers' films and the books of the novel. And it basically covers the entire history of that world from start to finish. And there's a gaming license there that basically says, the simple version of it is like, you can use anything in this book to make and publish anything you want without owing us anything. However, everything that you make has to be open source, so anybody can take your work and also use it. So like anything in that book, right? So like I had made some content for his stuff that I'd like to be able to do something with, but if I publish it in any of my books, then everything else I've ever done is you know, in that book becomes open source as well.
It could.
Yeah.
You could maybe segment it off and be like, this chapter is using this.
And you can't. It's very specific. The entire book has to be open source. So it's like, so what I thought I might do is I might just make the book based on just the content I created, and put it out as like a comic book size thing. Go, here it is. It's open source. I'm selling it. And if you use it, go ahead. But now everything you do has to be open source too. So it's like it's a weird. But at the same time, though, it doesn't give you the rights to take the content of the Gamers films or the Journey Quest series and use that, right? So it's like it's a weird license where they it's badly written, so it's unclear what you can and actually can and can't do.
Yeah, I prefer when people use some variation of Creative Commons, so it's clear what you're doing. So, because that's sort of like a share alike, and like the ORC license. Some people don't like the ORC license because it automatically makes all game mechanics viral. Like you can't. So, which I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I mean, but if you're doing splat books, it's bad because then your book value maybe falls if somebody wants to duplicate it. But
you can't like copyright game mechanics. You can copyright an IP, and in this case, like in the case of the Gamers content, they made the IP completely open, but not. It's weird too because like yes, you can, no, you can't.
Yeah.
But then also the people who are on the other side of it don't have the resources to take you to court. So it's like, what actually happens here? I don't know. Yeah.
Well, they've always been very friendly about sharing and fan community stuff, but they also got to be careful they don't just give away.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing because it's like you on the fan side, yes, but then when you talk to people that have been on the creative side, it's not so nice. And I've also had experiences with them where it's like, I don't think I want to be involved with that anymore.
Which system is this?
Well, it's the Gamers films, right? Like, the films because they like
it's the one where you're not a nerd, Greg.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no,
I don't know
it's
this
an interesting
stuff,
thing because like they have enough of a fan base to launch an RPG, and they've had people such as myself who were like begging to do it, but nobody would say yes. And if they had said yes, you'd probably see that game on this list right now. But it's like they won't say yes because people behind the scenes want too much control over their IP.
They have an RPG out, right? Don't they?
No, they have a couple adventure modules, and they have one RPG for they have an RPG for their Demon Hunter setting.
Oh,
that's so obscure, that like talk about obscure RPGs, right? Only the super fans are playing it, and so it's like, and I don't want to like badmouth anyone because I consider a lot of these people friends, but it's like
took a weird turn. So
I know it is, but it's just like it's a badly written license that doesn't really, and they've even admitted that it's not a good license, and I think the CEO of the company kind of wishes it didn't exist.
Yeah, so. I feel like, so the license part is very much on part of this because these all have different licenses, and that helps you build community and fan third-party creation, right? Daggerheart has its own license that's not Creative Commons or whatever.
I just looked at that one, yeah,
and it's a little different. There's a few things that make you pause a little bit, but the
worst of that one is they could basically publish something that's very similar to your. They can't copy it verbatim, but they could publish something official that's similar. So if they like your idea, they can just do it themselves. That's the worst that they could do with theirs.
And they in reality, they probably wouldn't do it. They probably do that legalese because they don't want to risk. They come out with something that's similar that just happens to be similar to yours, and then you go, "You stole it from me." They're just trying to proactively. I don't think they're proactively going, "I want to steal all your stuff."
They also have a provision to make it so they can change their license whenever they want, but it does say if you've already published, then you are grandfathered into how the license was when you published. So it's probably
the classic problem with these kinds of situations is they don't want to look at your material because if they do. And they were already building something similar, then they have a problem. There's a lawsuit there,
Not with their license, though. They don't have a problem, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's why they want to protect, because people sometimes get. I mean, there's a lot of stuff.
Similar. I think the best one is Shadowdark. It's a pretty permissive license, but the thing that she does really cool is she puts it in the book itself, so it's published as that license and can't change from how it's published in the book.
Right,
so
because it's in the book forever. You'd have to destroy every copy of the book to rescind it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good.
And Call of Cthulhu released their at least base BRP rules under the ORC license. So we see a lot of these in here have some kind of license out. I'm not sure about Vampire. I don't know about the storytelling system if they do, but
I'm like for mine, I'm totally open to collaboration with people, but like I don't know that I want to post a thing where, hey, because I would be concerned about somebody taking my work and turning it into like a porn game or something. So it's like, I'd like to, if somebody wants to collaborate, I'd like to have a conversation first about what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Plus there's like quality standard, like, not.
Some people try to put ethics things in there where like, hey, you can't make porn or hate speech with my stuff. So
yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of where I would be. But also, it's like, somebody puts out it's kind of like when Palladium had done that collaboration with the people that did the Manhunter RPG, and the book was so badly made that it's like they felt that it damaged their brand, and they weren't willing to do another collaboration for like 20 years. It wasn't until Savage Worlds came around that they were doing it again, and so.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, for third party, doesn't matter. I mean, I mean, maybe it should be good, but then again, it gets too good, they may be better than you. So maybe you don't want too good.
And I actually felt like I didn't think it was that bad. I felt like they probably should have been like, okay, well, that one was a flop. Let's see what somebody else has. Like, I think they should have been more open to the those kinds of deals.
I think so too, and I think maybe you're learning now, or they might be learning now with Savage Rifts. I think in this day of age, most, unless you're already pre-established, you almost kind of have to do something of a license or community something for it to really pick up and get steam, because there's so much competition. Why play whatever game unless you get something that stands out?
So short topic.
Yeah, so short. All right, so let's wrap this up. So what do you guys think? What are some of your favorite games? What do you think of these top lists? Do you think they're accurate or not? There's something that didn't make the list that you think should have been on there. And I guess, what do you think about licensing for games too? Because that came up.
Well, I think it's relevant considering one of our topics tonight. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So all right, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, go play a new game.
Yes.
When the dice roll high, we touch the sky, but when they crash, it's a belly laugh.